Hi, I'm Trevor Lund of RevTrev.com, and today I'm reviewing a series of books that I've I've read recently. I'll review my own books for you too. Ooh, get the good reviews. Anyway, I am reading through uh, A Dream of Eagles, and I think in the first time when I talked about this Sky Stone, called it the Camelud Chronicles, and he's just changed the name. you know, I think he started writing a series of 3 books. He went to 4, and then 5, and 6, and the last I've seen is up to 9, and I probably will read each one. But this one is A Dream of Eagles. No, from the series The Dream of Eagles. It's called The Eagle's Brood by Jack Whyte. And I told you in the first 2 books, it was from the viewpoint and narrated by um, Publius Verus. I could be getting that name wrong. I'm so sorry. He's my hero. I really enjoyed the book, and I can't remember for the life of me his name. But in this book, begins being told by Caius Merlin Britannicus. And Caius Merlin Britannicus is the grandson of Caius, friend of Verus. And Verus married Lucia, which was the sister of Britannicus. She was a Britannicus herself. And so the families are merged, right? So Verus is Merlin's uncle, and he is also, how does this work? Uther is born about the same time as Merlin, and they get raised up together as as cousins, but they're closest brothers, and that's what this book is all about. It's the developing of Uther and the developing of, more importantly, Merlin, and just all of the stuff he goes through before he becomes Merlin. And you see, again, the thing I like about Jack Whyte is he writes history, fictional history, but he writes it from a point of view where magic doesn't exist. So how does everyone assume that Merlin is magical? Well, very well explained. It's little things that he drops in there. Like Merlin makes people disappear. It's just because it had to be done. Merlin was a strategic thinker, and he could think his way through these different things, and he could make it seem like the person disappeared when in fact the person wasn't there to begin with in the first place, and things like this. And Merlin comes across this after this big battle and all the different things that happen. I don't want to spoil it. Basically, you want to know what's in the book? It's battles, and it's fights, and it's personal awareness. Actually, what else is in this book? A lot of religious sentiment. Jack Whyte. I don't know if Jack. He knows enough about Christianity to write some really good fiction about it at the time of 400 AD. What was going on in Britain at the time? Pelagius, and who's the guy that won? See, my mind is just gone. Oh, come on. He wrote The City of God. He is... Oh, his quote was, "Give me chastity, God, but don't give it to me too soon." Come on. Anyway, the whole debate between Augusta Hippo and Pelagius, and how Pelagius was excommunicated, and how Pelagius, his teachings were really popular in Britain, and how Alaric was influenced by Pelagianism, and really fascinating. What this book has got me to do is I want to learn more about Pelagius. Like, he's condemned as a heretic. He is a heretic. When I've read his teaching and his beliefs, cursory readings, like this guy, he seemed to have it right. he honestly seemed to have it right. He had supernatural experiences with God. He had things that the church at the time was not embracing, were afraid of. And why not? Why should they be? Why should the church be embracing it when the whole world is collapsing? When Rome, everything they knew for 1,500 years, well, 1,500, at least 1,000 years, Rome ruled, and there's peace everywhere. And in this time period, 400 to 500 AD, Rome was collapsing in on itself. The bubble had burst, and it was all coming in, and it was chaos and brutality, and just very well described in these books. Very well described in this series, in this series of Dream of Eagles, the first 3 books anyway. And just think about it. Like Jack does a good job of not demonizing Christians because they're Christians. He obviously disagrees with the way that the church excommunicated Pelagius, and speaks very, very highly of Pelagius and his teachings in terms of how it was a personal relationship with God. It was grace, not through the church, but through the cross, and all of these great things that we teach today. So we could be Pelagian heretics. I got to study up more on the guy. I've got all his writings. I just have to read them. Oh, the irony. I've got too much to read. Anyway, this book, I'm just trying to think. No real gratuitous sex scenes here. No, it's real though. It talks about the horrors of war. It talks about the crushing of the ball. You see the little ball and chain there. Jack has Uther inventing that, and then it gets really popular, and the surgeons don't like it because everything gets crushed, all the body parts, and it's not good. Anyway, right at the end, he goes and rescues unknowingly Uther's love, who Caius Merlin Britannicus is off to kill his cousin Uther because he's sure that Uther killed his wife. And yeah, you got to read the story because for 2 years, Caius got hit by his own ball and chain, and Caius Merlin, yeah. His family calls him Caius, his friends call him Merlin, until he gets hit in the head and loses his memory for 2 years. And after those 2 years, he has this epiphany and this revelation, and he goes to the grave of his wife in Avalon, which is just this little hut by this lake pond that's hidden from people, and he goes there, and he goes in the water, and he finds his ball and chain, and his memory comes rushing back, and he's sure that Uther was there to kill her. So he goes off chasing after Uther, who's chasing after Lot, and chaos is all over the place, and he goes running after Uther, who's on the beach, and he gets there, and it wasn't Uther, it was the guy that killed Uther, and the guy who killed Uther he met before, and Merlin tells him in the dream that he had, and he told him how he killed Uther, and it's his dream was telling him, and the guy didn't want to kill him because he was touched by the gods, and the mother lies dying on the beach and says, Uther's son Arthur is there, save my child, and he goes running off into the surf and just has to pull himself up because of the armor on him, and he finds his little baby with this little Pendragon amulet, and the next book is The Saxon Shore, and I might go off today to see if I can pick it up. Anyway, I'm Trevor Lund, RevTrev.com. Again, this series, very, very, very well written historical fiction. Very, very, very graphic. Not very, very graphic. It's graphic. I'm saying very, very graphic because you don't get this stuff in Christian CBA. No, it would not work well for the Christian audience because we want our happy endings. not a whole lot of happy endings in these books. But there's a purpose to it all. And that purpose, of course, is Camelot. Yeah, I'm Trevor Lund, RevTrev.com. Enjoy.